Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome again to the C Suite podcast, where we talk about all things sports. We're back again for another episode of the NBA Basketball Talk Show. Today, we're gonna be looking at play-in tournament in the NBA. Just before the COVID pandemic happened, the NBA were kind of thinking about maybe having a mini in tournament during the season, kind of like the FA Cup tournament in the Premier League, where teams play for a trophy during the season. Personally, I feel like this wouldn't be ideal because the teams already played too many games, and I'm not actually sure how this would work. Why would the NBA consider this? Is it because they want more players to kind of like have a chance of winning maybe a trophy? Is that a possible reason? Also, is there money grabbing thing where you can see over the last few seasons that a lot of NBA teams that now sponsors on the jersey? Would this be a money grabbing tournament where sponsors pay the NBA to have this tournament? Obviously, this will give the players more money. This will give the NBA more money. Is it what's happening in the tournament in the season? Would this affect injuries? Obviously, players would potentially play more games. How would this work? I'm Victor, your host. Enjoy the show.
What about the tournament idea of bringing in some type of FA Cup, Carling Cup system into the NBA? Where because right now
they did consider that, but then unfortunately this pandemic happened, so that I think that's kind of taking a back seat now.
My question to you guys is, do you want that to happen?
These teams already played too many games this season. They played some of the games, and then for them to be traveling up and down for extra games, so I'm not sure how exactly that would work. But I just feel like the way it is already, there's so many games already, and then I'm not sure if the players will actually agree, or if even the Players Association would actually say yes to that, if that was the case.
Yeah, I was going to mention the fact about the whole traveling and everything. They're already playing a good amount of games even before the pandemic, and to try and space it out so that they have time to rest as well in between is very tough. Do you put the tournament at the end of the season? Then you would have certain teams. The teams that didn't make the playoffs at an advantage, and then obviously people who've been playing throughout the playoffs are now worried about injuries and that kind of thing. So it's very tough. It's very tough to space it out. So but I do know Silva was considering it before the pandemic. Anyways, that they brought it up again. They brought it up a couple of times. I don't know what his final say was on it, but I think he said they were considering it. I think they were considering it.
Yeah, it's something that they have considered, and I could see like a usual season. 82 regular season games, that maybe they cut back on the 82 games and maybe push it to 72 like they are this season, or maybe a bit less, and then those extra games to make up to 82 where is this cup competition. So you're not adding more than 82 games on, you're still playing roughly 82 if you get far, but you're not playing an extra like 10-15 games on top of that.
Right now, honestly, I wouldn't put it as any priority or anything. I mean, it's a great idea, but right now it shouldn't even be on the table.
Yeah.
Right now we're struggling with having as many games with the pandemic. It should take a back seat right now, as far as I'm concerned.
Like in the future, when things have settled down, would you think, okay, that's an idea we should actually revisit? Like, it's actually, I mean, do you think it's a good idea? It's basically what I'm trying to say.
I can say, okay, there's one profile in that the teams that don't make the playoffs can get some sort of can still get something. I don't know, medal, cup, or whatever. There's that aspect to it. So yeah, it's a good thing. I'm just more concerned that there's a lot of games, timing of it. If it's at the end of the season, the teams who played in playoffs will suffer, and then the whole injury aspect of it. So it's trying to balance it out for the players to make it fair. If they can come up with a system like that, and let's say players agree, then I'm up for it.
I feel like maybe those kind of playoff tournaments where one of the games where it's like one of the smaller teams can actually look out like LA Lakers, for example. I think that would be quite exciting for the NBA. I'm just not sure how that gets you late into the season.
Actually, you know what? Let them start small. Take the teams that didn't make the playoffs and let them compete for a cup. Yeah, they can start off that. See how it's received. If people like the idea and it turns out well, then you can build on that over time.
Yeah, definitely.
That actually sounds like a very good idea.
Yeah. That's a good idea too.
I mean, I think it's all baby step. Like it's uncharted territory, I guess, for the NBA to start putting in cup games and whatever. But yeah, I think a lot of teams would actually like that. If you didn't make the playoffs, or if you didn't, if you didn't make the playoffs, then yeah, you can challenge for a cup in some way. I always felt like if a team as well, if you have an all-star team, fair enough, but you can always use your bench for these cup games. I mean, that's what we do in the Premier League, basically. So I don't know. I never felt like it was too much of an ask, because if you have a decent bench and you have players who don't normally get on, they would love the chance to play and challenge for a title, and to at least go home and say, yeah, I have something. Like, I have a title, I have a cup.